All right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Learning to 3D Model with Tinkercad. My name is David. I'm with San Mateo County Libraries, and I'm so happy to be here with you on this day as we continue to advance in our 3D modeling skill set. Now, you will need, if you want to participate with the software, you will need access to Tinkercad. So if you did not watch our first installment, this is your first video watching Learning to 3D Model with Tinkercad, you could watch our previous installment to learn how to get set up with Tinkercad. It may involve asking your grown-up to help you out, make a free account. But that doesn't take very long. It's pretty easy to do. Okay, so before we get started, I'm so excited to be here 3D modeling with you today. I got a little bit of jitters because I'm a little nervous. So if you feel a little nervous or anxious, what you could do is you can put your hands up, move them all around, stretch your hands out, all right? And give your back a good stretch. Give your back a good stretch. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Good energy, good vibes. We're gonna have so much fun. Okay, so let's get into what we are learning about today. I'm gonna share my screen with you all. Okay, so again, this is Learn to 3D Model with Tinkercad. Summer STEAM Camp is in full swing, and we are taking the T out of STEAM to learn about technology. All right, so let's jump in, make this full screen. Let me get my laser beam spotlight here. Here we go. Okay, so we are in full screen mode. All right, for those who are on a computer, make sure you're at tinkercad.com and logged in. If you're using an iPad, you can download the Tinkercad app from the App Store. If you're on the iPhone, you could use tinkercad.com as well. The screen's a little smaller, but you can still get to 3D modeling. Same thing with an Android phone. So there's a lot of technology choices to choose from. Choose whichever you have access to. All right, so what you're gonna need for today, piece of paper, my pen is around here somewhere, here's my pen, a pen, and your technology device that's gonna help you use Tinkercad. It's gonna be the platform for you to use Tinkercad. All right, so our first concept, what do you all see on the screen? Say it out loud. I heard it. You totally said we see a house. A pretty nice house, I must say. And we're going to examine the concept, very quickly, the concept of reverse engineering. So when we look at this house, I want you all to think, what shapes do you see in this house? Feel free to say them out loud. Not all at once, but say them out loud. All right. Okay, a square, rectangle, triangle. Who said pentagon? Oh my gosh, you know your shapes, everyone. Yeah, great points. Now, you could basically reverse engineer any structure that you see, whether outside your window, when you're going to the library, when you're going to school, when you're driving with a family member to and from a destination. Wherever it is, think about reverse engineering some of the shapes that you see. It's really, really fun. And it really puts that creative and critical thinking skill to use. It allows you to build that up. All right, so now that we've reverse engineered this house, let's move on to the next page. Now is an example time for you to draw out a structure. So for me, I drew out the house that I was seeing because later on in our lesson, we're going to be using Tinkercad to rebuild a house or a structure. And this is my example of what I did on screen. So I want you all to think of a structure and try to redraw on that piece of paper and pen. I did mine again right here, what you're seeing on the screen. So I want you all to pause the video, draw out the structure that you have in mind. And as you can see in my drawing, I wrote down some of the shapes that I was seeing. I saw a rectangle, I saw a square, triangle. Now what I will do is I'll move back a slide just in case there's anyone here who wants to see that house, in case you just don't have any ideas and you want to draw the house. So take a couple of minutes to draw that out and unpause the video when you are ready to move forward with me. All right, so nice job, everyone. Now that you've finished your drawing, what we're going to do is we're going to rebuild or re-engineer the house that we saw in our head or on the photo that I shared with Tinkercad using the shapes that we have to build with there. Are you up for the challenge? Awesome, I love your enthusiasm. Okay, so field trip to Tinkercad. If you have your iPad or iPhone or computer or Android tablet, whatever it is, now is the time to get Tinkercad ready. I will do the same. Okay, so I'm using my laptop and I'm on tinkercad.com. If it's your first time here, just have a grown-up help you join Tinkercad. It is free. It doesn't take long to join. But since I've already joined, I'm in my account right now. And for everyone that's here, I want you to click on Create New Design. All you do is take your finger on a touchscreen device and push Create New Design. If you're using a mouse and your device is not touchscreen, just use the left button on the mouse to click on Create New Design. All right, so that's opening up our work plane, our work area in Tinkercad. Now, there's a couple things that are good housekeeping rules when it comes to getting started in Tinkercad. The first thing we discussed last time, who remembers? What was that? You're right, you gotta name your project. So we're gonna follow my little laser beam here on the screen. We're gonna come up to the default name of this project, and we're gonna change it. And I was thinking a really quick abbreviation for this project could be HR, the letters HR, and that can stand for House Rebuild. So you could change your project name to HR, or you could change it to whatever you'd like. Once you're done typing that in, hit enter. And from there, the next thing we need to change, who remembers? Excellent memory. We have to change our units of measurement. So the work plane defaults to millimeters. We're going to change that to inches. To do that, we're going to go to Edit Grid, click on Edit Grid, then we're going to click on the drop down where it says millimeters and change that to inches. Once you do that, click on Update Grid. And just like that, everything that we're seeing here is in inches. Okay, so now it's time to take shapes that we're seeing here in the basic shapes menu to rebuild the house that we saw. And I'll be trying to rebuild something that looks like the house I drew. And I can reference this notebook drawing to see what shapes I drew out. So I can see for a lot of the base, I have that represented by a rectangle. So I'm going to go to the shapes menu over here. On my mouse, I'm going to push down on the left button and drag the box from the basic shapes menu onto the work plane. So here we go, give that a try. There's that. And now I can increase the width of that box by, if I zoom in just a little bit, I'm going to click on this little black box right here and make my box wider. Now if I zoom out, I can see my box is almost 3 inches in width. That sounds about right to me. So I have that portion of the base done. I'm going to look at my house drawing again and figure out what shape I need to use next. All right, so here we go. I'm going to focus on this area right here with the window. That to me looks like a larger or taller kind of rectangle slash box. So I'm going to introduce another box. And up here, I'm going to rotate my view. Just by clicking on this item and moving it around, I could rotate my view. All right, so let's bring in the next box. Here we go. I'm just doing a click and drag on your iPad. If you're using an iPad or touchscreen, just hold that item down and drag it into the work plane. Okay, so now this area, it looks lined up pretty nicely, but this box on the right needs to be taller in height. So I'm going to go up here to this top white box. I'm just going to increase the height, just like that. That looks pretty good to me. Okay, who remembers how to group or glue items together? Anyone? I didn't hear anyone. Okay, it's okay if you forgot. It it takes a couple times to actually really memorize this step, but it's not too hard. So what we're gonna do is, since we've already clicked on this shape right here, I need to select this one as well. Since my computer has a keyboard and mouse, I'm gonna hold the Shift button down and click on the other rectangle. Now both items are selected. I can move my laser pointer up here to the group option. It looks like a circle and square joined together. Once I click on that, both items are glued together. So give that all a try. You need to pause this to practice, no problem. Go ahead and pause the video and you can come right back. All right, so we only have a couple more steps left. We're gonna be putting on a roof on our house. And that's not too hard to do. Since we already drew our reference, I am listing the roof as a triangle. So I have some triangles in my basic shapes menu, but even better, I have one called, who could read that? Roof, you're right. So I'm gonna bring the roof in and put it on top of the house. That should be pretty simple to do. And I wanna give everyone a trick. So does everyone see up here where it says work plane? Yeah, if you click on work plane and put it on the surface that you're working on, and then click to let go of the work plane, it puts in this artificial plane. So when you bring anything in from the basic shapes menu, it lines up right on top of that object. So I'm gonna do that with my roof. I'm just gonna click and drag, and as you can see, it's lining up nicely on top of my house. All right, that looks pretty good. I may make my roof just a little bit wider. There we go. That looks really, really nice. And then I'm gonna move the work plane from this platform up here to this nice platform that needs a roof. So to do that, I'm gonna click work plane again. I'm gonna drop it right on top of the house where I want the next roof to go. Boom. Okay, so now I can drag in my next roof, put it on top of the house. Now just a reminder, your house does not need to look like mine. You could have thought of a different house using your imagination, and you could build your house whatever way you want. You may even think your house does not even need a roof right here. It's like an open deck concept at the very top where people can hang out. So there's a lot of different options when it comes to creativity, and I want you to use it to the fullest, okay? All right, so here's another fun trick. Now that I have my roof on, when I look at my reference picture, my roof is facing another direction. So I want to rotate this roof. And I can do that by these rotation points that you're seeing here. They look like two opposite triangles from each other. So I'm going to click on this rotation point. I'm going to rotate my roof 90 degrees. So I'm moving all the way, and I'm holding down. I'm not letting go of the left click so I could rotate. Now that I got my roof facing in the right direction, I'm going to increase the width by going over to this black little box. Make sure that the box turns red when you click on it. I'm going to drag it out. Drag, drag, drag. And just like that, my house is getting a roof in no time. It's looking really good. Now that I'm done with my work plane, I'm not going to use it anymore. I'm going to put the work plane on the floor. So I'm going to click work plane, back on the floor. Let's try that one more time. Now, oops, my work plane's gone. Okay, so examining my roof, I'm going to rotate my view. Remember, you could do that on the iPad just by clicking and dragging the screen. Or if you come up to this box here, you could rotate. Okay, on the computer, you can hold right-click, the button right-click down, and move the mouse at the same time. That'll let you rotate. So now I can see my roof looks pretty good, but I need to drag it over a bit. It's not really covering the back side of the house. It's going to increase the depth there. And I missed this portion of the house, so I'm just going to increase the width. All right, that looks pretty good. Let's take a look at the other one. So this side's not too bad, but I missed some of the back side as well. So I'm going to click on that roof and then drag it out. Let's try that one more time. There we go. That looks good. Okay, so now let's look at the front of the house. Oops, zooming out. That looks really nice. Now, the next step I have to do is I need to glue or group the roofs on since they're separate pieces now. So to do that, again, I'm going to hold the Shift button down on my keyboard, and I'm going to click on the new blocks or the roofs. Once I do that, I'll click the base of the house as well. Once I have everything selected, I'm going to move up to the group command at the top. If any of this feels too fast, feel free to pause the video and practice. No rush, okay? Now, as soon as you group everything all together, it becomes one solid color. To get the color back, you just go to the green circle right here under shape and click multi-color. Just like that, you're back. Okay, so I want to show you all really quickly how to add things in like doors or a garage or a window. It's really simple, and you've probably already thought this portion out. You just find other shapes. So I'm going to click on this box. I'm going to use this as a garage. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to lower the height. I'm going to change the color of my garage to, I think a blue might look nice. And now that I have this cool blue, I'm going to push this into the house. And I'm going to make it a little wider. Okay, so we got a nice 2-car garage. And then every house needs, how do people enter into houses? What do you use? Who said window? That was funny. You're right, you need a front door. So with Tinkercad, imagination is the limit. I mean, you could think it doesn't have to be a traditional rectangle for a door. Maybe you want this really cool cylinder door. So let's bring in our cylinder. Let's just make it, I'm going to make mine a little thinner. And maybe this is a revolving or rotating door like you'd see at the airport, San Francisco airport. So you can take this and push this into the house. Look at that, you have this really cool creative door that almost pops out at you. Once you introduce these new pieces, you can group them all together. And I'm going to do that here. Okay. And I'm going to group just like that. My house is coming along nicely. Now, I want you all to spend some more time continuing to build out the exterior, the outside of your house. Experiment with windows. Try a different shape for a window. Lift that window up into the air and insert it into your house. Even take a look at the back side of your object and the sides and add windows there too, because a lot of times buildings will have windows on most of the outside walls. Okay, so that is going to wrap up the lesson for today. We're going to take a look at the very important Summer Learning Initiative. Go to summerlearners.org. You may or may not have heard of this yet, but every summer we have a summer learning challenge where we encourage people of all ages and abilities to do some reading. Reading is really important. It allows you to grow in so many ways. And if you haven't grabbed your summer learning grab and go bag, feel free to stop by one of our libraries to pick up some free books for summer learning. When you're all finished with your reading, you can click the finisher's form, submit the form that that shows that you did your reading, and you'll be entered in to win a chance at a $1,000 college scholarship. So lots of fun things happening here. I want to wish you all a great day. Take care. Thanks for joining, and continue to build out in Tinkercad. Bye, everyone.